is everyone today? It's a pretty good song, isn't it? It's one of my favorites from the Soviet Union, which now reminds me that one of the leaders of the Soviet Union, I don't think it was Stalin, I think it was after Stalin, he had an obsession with corn. Corn, of course, comes from North America. It didn't exist in Europe until after the pioneers had discovered it. Pioneer also being a funny word because that's what they call the Boy Scouts in the Soviet Union. They call it like Lenin's Pioneers or something. But if you like Google like Soviet corn ad or whatever on your search engine of choice, you'll be greeted by hundreds of different posters promoting the consumption and propagation of corn, because it's like a miracle to them. It grows fast and it's bountiful and it can be used for all sorts of shit. You see a lot of corn actually, because they use it for like biogas and shit. Because they have to find ways to find natural gas in Europe that doesn't come from Russia, because they don't like Russia too much right now. This week has been kind of boring. There's only been like one thing really interesting that's happened this whole week, at least to me. Actually, that's a lie. There's a couple little things that I want to touch on, but as far as like funny like people doing silly stuff, the meat of my interests, not too much is happening. Though I would like to point out that while I was setting up my OBS, I discovered that there's this feature where I can fade out between scenes. Like, you see how I can dim the screen to black right here? I have used OBS for like years now, and I've never discovered this is like a thing. So now I've determined that I can actually do fun little things like this. I could set this up and do this. I can just layer it right on top of what I'm showing you. And I can just perfectly compose these scenes together and make a joke out of it. So I'll have this ready on standby, ready to go just in case the day comes. Okay, so what are my options here? Where can I start? I can show you guys something that I found off the Fediverse instance that is interesting to me. There's a guy, he set up the name Soy Generator or Average Chud, and it's a bot. And at first I didn't realize that this was a bot, but as it turns out it is. Let's see if I can actually find this. Is this gonna work for me? Okay, it does work. It is an AI meme machine. These are all like developed by AI. And it's really interesting because it's like the Wojak things are just like expressions of specific emotions. So when you compose them with machines, you get some sort of new kind of emotion that you can't really understand, but it terrifies you, it scares you. I like the animated ones too. Look at this. Look how amazing this is. It morphs from all sorts of different agonies. It's really, really quite fascinating. I like it. Oh my god, look. It's like three of them. They're merged together. You get like a lot of super fucked up looking ones. I picked out two that I liked right before the stream. I like this one because it's like he's got like a tentacle. He's in agony. This man is suffering because his skeleton is melted and he's sort of irradiated is what I'm getting from this. I also like this one because it's like the bot knows that some of the memes have like text, but it doesn't know it doesn't know how to write. So this guy is like, and he's like screaming. He's in some sort of pain that you can't even comprehend, and he has no expression. There are words coming out of his mouth, but it's some kind of language that nobody understands. I remember when I watched Eraserhead for the first time, I understood what abstract art was. It gave me an epiphany as to what abstract art was. And abstract art is the ability to understand a emotion, a feeling that you would never be able to experience like in your life. Like in Eraserhead, it's about the loneliness of taking care of a child, especially if you're not in his situation, the child is like sick or something. There's something wrong with it, and the wife leaves, so he's just stuck with this kid, and he's the whole movie is just expressing what his total isolation is and how nothing makes sense in his life, and it does a good job of making you feel that loneliness that the character does. And these are sort of like it. It's a machine trying to express man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. It's a type of abstract art. It's just something about it because it's like human faces and they're just a little bit off. They all land firmly in that uncanny valley as if it's unintentional. Anyways, I like that and I want to share it with people. Some creativity on the fucking Fediverse for once. Now I need to complain. I didn't hear about this until after the FCC had closed for comments. Apparently it started in December. And I just didn't hear about it until the day after they stopped opening. Probably because these guys didn't even see this until it was too late. February 2nd, and the comments are closed on the 9th. The FCC is, in its infinite benevolence, kicking around the idea of mandating that websites should all have Content ID. They want to take the system that YouTube uses to protect the intellectual property of multi-trillion-dollar transnational corporations, and they want to inflict it on every single website that operates in the United States. And it's just the most horrific fucking idea I can possibly imagine. So I hope that works out in our favor, because I can't like even encourage people to like leave a comment. You can't call your congressman. This is just the FCC kicking around the idea of a mandatory content filter for every website in the world, I guess. Though this is something that if you wish to contact your representatives about, you can contact. The Earn It Act, which is a good old throwback to the days when Section 230 was under constant bilateral attack from everyone in the world. And if I sound tired, it's because I am tired. I'm tired of talking about this, and I can barely even drum up the energy to complain. And that is exactly what they want. They want you to feel completely defeated by this shit. The Earn It Act was one of the proposals to replace Section 230 that started up because Donald fucking Trump decided that Section 230 was the problem. So the Republican congressman drafted this bill, and the proposal is that they want to make a committee. They want to make like another fucking committee, another group of politicians and assholes who will decide what the best practices are for having Section 230 protection. So you have this thing, Section 230. All it does, simplest terms, if you host a website that users can post content on, then you are not liable for civil actions that happen as a result of that content. I host a website. Someone defames someone using my forum. I am not civilly liable for that defamation. The person who posted it is. So what they want to do is they want to take that protection, which seems essential, is common sense. If you have a thing that people can use, you're not liable for everything that they do. You're still liable for criminal stuff, but most people don't believe that for whatever reason, but that you are not liable for civil issues. So they want to take those protections, and which are essential. They are the underpinning of the modern internet. And not the modern internet, but like the entire development of the internet has been built upon this concept. They want to take that and they want to make a committee, and the committee is going to say a good website does not have encryption. A good website is plugged into the FCC Content ID bot, and if you don't have those best practices, you do not get 230 protections. That's all it says. So if you would like to contact your congresspeople about this bill and tell them to eat shit, you can go to the EFF.org and you can find this article and you can read it and educate yourself on the issue. If it interests you, and if it doesn't, don't worry about it. I won't hold it against you. Walked into a little internet. You have. I don't know. At this point, it's just like, yeah, whatever, pass whatever. And if I can't like host my site, whatever. That's okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy a couple acres and some chickens. I'm gonna take those chickens and I'm going to get eggs from the chickens, and then I'm going to eat the eggs, and then I won't need a website anymore, chat. That's my plan. This is my long-term survival skill that I'm working on at the moment. Harvest Moon. I'm not getting to the Ralph stuff. I'm sorry. It's towards the end. If you watch this only for Ralph, you're going to be disappointed. I don't care. I also found this, and it's interesting to me because it's publicly funded. Your tax, if you live in the United States, your tax money goes to this. Even if you don't live in the United States, you definitely somehow give money to American companies because you're all slaves. You're all vassals to the American empire. And your money, by proxy, goes to the NPR, which is the National Public Radio. And they have this blog, and they published this on the 9th. Which skin color emoji should you use? The answer can be more complex than you think. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I always use the black skin tone because I'm black. And I want to identify with my homies on the internet that I am, in fact, an African American. But this author, who I checked, she's Bangladeshi. Well, not the author, but the author's name is, well, this is a Muslim, Asma Khalid, Alejandra Marquez Yanza, and then Patrick Jaron Vatanen. That sounds Dutch. Why is he Asian? Why does this man have a Dutch last name when he's Asian? That is fucking weird. So Asma Khalid, using information from Zara Rahman, who is Bangladeshi, wrote this article about how Heath Rakela, who sounds black, as 3/4 white and 1/4 Filipino. When texting, he chooses a yellow emoji instead of a skin tone option because he feels it doesn't represent any specific ethnicity or color. He doesn't want people to view his text in any particular way. He wants to go with what he sees as a neutral option and focus on the message. So he says, I'm kind of white even though I'm a little bit Filipino, which I guess is why he says he should use the pale one, right? But he doesn't want to like say, oh, I'm white. He doesn't want to use like a white power emoji. So he uses the yellow one. But then they say down here, Zara Rahman, a researcher and writer in Berlin. So this Bangladeshi woman, I looked it up, by the way. She's from Bangladesh. She doesn't say this. She doesn't say like where she's from. She might be from Israel. I really don't know. She looks Bangladeshi. But then she like studied in New York City and now is in Berlin doing dissertations about emoji skin color. She says a researcher and writer in Berlin argues that the skin tone emojis make white people confront their race as people of color often have to do. For example, she shared Sarah E. Cole's confusion when someone who is white uses a brown emoji. So she asked her friends about it. And this is a scam. This woman gets paid by the government of Germany to write about emojis so that the NPR, which is funded by the American federal government, can pay Alejandra Marquez Yanza, Patrick Vatnanen, and Asma Khalid to write this fucking garbage that nobody reads. Nobody reads this shit. In fact, I'll just skip ahead to my next thing. The Daily Dot wrote this article about Nick Fuentes being an incel. And I've heard of the Daily Dot, and I think it's because Cat Party posts every single Daily Dot article to the Articles and Happenings board of the Kiwi Farm. So they're the source I'm most familiar with. But get this, right? If we go to my Twitter account, and I'm not bragging about numbers here, I just want to compare it. KiwiFarms.net is my Twitter thing. You go here, and here my transparency report for January 2022. All I do every month, I post one of these things, and I just say what happens, or I admit things if certain things have happened that I can't talk about, and then I say there is nothing of interest to note for January. This gets 75 likes. My little tweet about the Earn It Act gets 264 likes. And the Daily Dot, which is like a real like report, like journalist thing that it like has 163,000 followers. 2 likes on a thing about bobsledding. 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 retweets about this article saying a lot of y'all don't know about this. Shore addresses the yassification of Pinocchio. No comments, no likes, no retweets. And it's just like every single one has 0 interaction. They churn these fucking things out like every few hours and nobody reacts. This tweet about Nick Fuentes being an incel has 6 likes. And to my interest, The only from it is from this guy called Crack Rabbit, who says literally nothing wrong with being abstinent or celibate. And they're an aromantic Encyclopedia Dramatica sissop Christian goth right with like a American cartoon girl as an avatar with a Christ is King hat with 61,000 tweets. And somehow they found this article about Nick Fuentes and went in to defend Nick Fuentes. The comments of a tweet that literally nobody will ever see. Nobody saw this tweet. And they still decided this is my chance to get noticed by Nick Fuentes by defending him. So they lodged that complaint. Here's the article, by the way. Wannabe incel Nick Fuentes fans revolt over admission he's voluntarily celibate. The white nationalist complained that his fans would also call Hitler a fake cell. I'm pretty sure Hitler was married. He got married to Eva Braun right before he died, like in the Fuhrer bunker during the Inzig, or whatever. What do you call it? The downfall. Inzig was never achieved, right? They lost the war, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure he was not a fake cell. And I'm like, okay, are any of you Nick Fuentes fans? Whenever Nick Fuentes gets brought up, people say like, the journalists are just taking his jokes out of context. And it's like, I really don't feel like I feel like he just says stupid shit and he says it in like a stupid ass fucking voice. And people who like him just go, oh, he's being sarcastic. Which I probably shouldn't point out because I do that a lot. I just say whatever I want and then I say it in like a deadpan way because my voice can't really achieve emotions. And then everything just sounds like a joke, so I can, I can get away with whatever I want. Claire Goforth, which is a stupid last name. That sounds like a comic book character name. Go forth, like go out and conquer or whatever. That's stupid. But she writes, Nick Fuentes has never had a girlfriend. He says he did kiss a girl once. He doesn't want to do it again, though. The white nationalist recently revealed his long ago dalliance. Is that a word? Did they misspell alliance? What is a dalliance? A casual, romantic, or sexual relationship. Huh. Well, that's your word of the day, chat. Dalliance. A casual, romantic, or sexual relationship. His long ago dalliance into the realm of romance, but said it doesn't have an interest in it anymore. His fans mocked him, calling him voluntary celibate and a fake incel. In his defense, Fuentes compared himself to Hitler and insisted that it isn't voluntarily celibate because he didn't choose to be born. I listened to a debate between Nick Fuentes and the reason why I can give him shit for this. I listened to this fucking debate between Nick Fuentes and some guy, and Nick Fuentes is like, he calls himself voluntary celibate, Volcel. But he was debating like an actual incel. And the actual incel was like way more like coherent with his points, but it was like an hour long and it was like moderated by Beardson. It was just the worst thing that I've ever listened to. It's on par with like I wouldn't go that far. It's not as bad as Tequila Sunrise, which is just the most insipid shit ever. You want to hear Ethan Ralph listen to black people play sports ball while he grunts over it every so often? Listen to Tequila Sunrise. But this was pretty close. I listened to this entire thing and I can't remember a single thing about it. I want to summarize it for you, but I cannot. It's completely left my head now, and I have nothing to say about it. This is a joke. I don't believe Nick is celibate. I believe he's gay. Said he's repulsed by sex. He's asexual 100%. That's stupid. I don't believe in asexuality. Sponges are asexual. Starfish are asexual. Nick Fuentes either got fucked in the ass as a kid and has PTSD, or he's just gay and he doesn't want people to know. I almost feel bad for him because it really feels like he got caught up in something that he didn't really understand when he was much younger. Like he was like 18 when he started his podcast, right? And he got all this attention and all this money, and then the Trump thing, like Trump got into office and Trump was a complete disappointment. So at his peak, Trump had just gotten elected, and then he did the Catboy thing. That's when it started to decline, right? And he's like, well, what the fuck do I do? How do I convey this momentum into something useful? How do I transfer this energy into an actual output? And he really couldn't. He didn't find a way to do that. And now everyone takes the Daily Dot, which is a publication that's probably taxpayer funded in some way, and which creates absolutely no content that anyone actually reads, is making fun of him. And so is Right Wing Watch. And people just say like, "Oh, you're a white nationalist? Or are you like a closet gay catboy lover like Nick Fuentes?" And I just point to shit like this. And it's not even like they're taking them out of context. This whole thing about, like, this whole clip is like
I did it
several minutes long. You know, fuck it, I'll watch it. Here, we'll listen to the whole thing.
once. I made my point. I proved my point, and now I'm good. Now I'm done. All right? Oh, yeah, fake cell. Call me a fake cell all you want. I'm an incel, all right? I know I'm an incel.
Is it a joke? Like,
My hero falls.
I need that thing. I need that thing that iDubbbz did for Sam Hyde. I need you to point to me where in the irony circle this falls. Is it meta irony? Am I falling for a meta irony joke?
It was 9 years ago. Easy mode. Breaking news. Fakest of the fake cell. Wannabe incel. But like I said, I didn't choose to not want to be in a relationship. I didn't choose that, okay? I'm a misogynist, and I didn't choose that. I didn't choose to be born. I've never touched a woman in my life. I'm stone cold to somebody. Yeah, well, I don't even want that. So.
Gets angry, screams, diverts attention, makes it a joke. He's definitely gay. I can believe it. Like, he calls himself, like, incel and asexual or whatever, because that's, like, it's better to him than being gay. He is raised Catholic, right? Like, that's a big thing. If he is, like, actually gay, he's probably been told from a young age that...
I don't want touch. I don't want a relationship. You know what I want? Total Aryan victory. That's all
He's
I
been
want.
molested. If he's, like, afraid to be touched, that's, like, classic, like, child abuse symptoms. If he's, like, afraid of being touched by people, that's weird.
I didn't choose that. All I want is revenge against my enemies and a total Aryan victory. Hugs and kisses, touch, sappy stuff,
Or autism.
hand-holding.
That's fair. It could be autism. I'll yield. That's the alternative explanation.
All I want is revenge and an Aryan victory for my people. If you don't want it, it's Volcel. Nuh-uh, because I didn't choose to not want it. I didn't choose to not want it.
How does he not know the distinction between those two terms?
I was born incel.
Like, if you could, like, okay, women are, like, talking to him, and he gets mad when they do that. So if he's rejecting it, that makes it voluntarily celibate. Like, I don't think he understands that the guys, like, because he's gay. If you wanna cruise for gay sex in a bathroom, you can do that easily. But for like incels, they throw off like so many red flags that even like prostitutes would be like, oh my god, if I hook up with this guy, he'll like decapitate me.
I was born involuntarily. And it's involuntary that I don't want that. Okay? So I'm just like Hitler. How dare you call me a fake cell? If Hitler were alive today, you would call him a fake cell. How dare you? Hitler could have had any girl he wanted, but he said, I don't have time for that.
He did, though.
Not that Hitler's my hero or anything, but you would have called Hitler a fake cell.
He literally got married before he died. Eva Braun even changed her last name. She technically died Eva Hitler. That's weird that he doesn't even know that. Hasn't he ever seen the movie? They made a movie about Hitler, you know that? It's called The Downfall. There's a scene at the end where they get married, and he has to present his Aryan... I don't even know if that was a joke, but he has to present like his certificate of Aryanness for the marriage. And they excuse that, which makes me wonder if it's like they're trying to further that conspiracy that he was like secretly a self-hating Jew or something. Very weird, but it was definitely in the movie. I remember seeing it. And In my head now, I just have to imagine that Nick Fuentes hasn't even seen The Downfall. He's read nothing. He's seen no books. He has no fucking clue whatsoever. He just likes to talk and have people throw money at him and have a following of Nick Fuentes lovers. Oh man, that's the crazy thing. That's how you know he doesn't have any like life experience. Like you want a total. He says I want a total Aryan victory. He says, and probably as a joke, like half as a joke. But like women are like 52% of the population. You realize, and I'm pretty sure that the NSDAP won with women having the right to vote. Like Germany passed the right to vote like really early on. So if you want to win like the hearts and minds, you can't just do it by like excluding half the population. You have to find some way to integrate them into your cause if you don't want to look like a bunch of fucking retards. But what do I know? I'm stupid. I'm just fucking retarded, Your Honor. Women are not the engine of the revolution, but they are a component. You can't just leave half the parts out of your fucking machine and call it finished. You fucked up somewhere. If 51% of your machine is in the spare parts bin, you've definitely overlooked something in your political theory. If your chapter on women is just fuck them. No feminist arc. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you wanna have a coherent political movement, you have to find a place for women. Then you get the PM of Canada? No. Speaking of, I guess I'll talk about Ontario. Everybody wants me to, right? I don't know anything about it. I guess they're blocking all the roads and shit. And what's interesting is that they had that GoFundMe. And then GoFundMe kicked them off and said, sorry, they're terrorists or something. It wasn't even like that. They just said, like, we have, like, intermediaries. We have, like, Stripe and stuff. And they said, fuck off. So we have to kick them off. So then they move... the campaign to Give Send Go, which is the Christian thing, which of course is now an alt-right website, because of course it is, and they make $10 million. And after that, the government of Canada has now declared that $10 million is like terrorist money. They've used some sort of anti-money laundering thing to freeze the assets, which is an interesting conundrum because usually it's the American government that freezes money, right? So they don't really have any power to enforce that. But what they're saying is illegal is that the money itself is like they can't touch it because it's Americans right now. And Give Send Go has the money and they can send the money to them however they want. But that would technically be a crime in Canada, and then any people touching the money and passing it around and using it would be like guilty of like money laundering. So the government has basically declared fatwa upon these truckers and are treating them like terrorists, even though technically it's a democratic, process. It's a legal demonstration under their constitution, and there is no terrorism. So they just hit them with the anti-terrorism shit, and now they're fucked, and they're gonna have to just eat the losses, unless it goes to crypto, which brings me to something that I looked up. I went to R Canada because I wanted to see what people who were retarded would have to say about this. This guy says that the internet isn't real. That's his username. He says that the money is sent directly to the bank account of the organizers, so there isn't like a way to refund it. Like there is no going back. The money's already been distributed or it is already collected. And here they're talking about how the government of Canada can enforce this ban. Then they're talking about FinTrack, which is financial tracking, I imagine. And someone pointed out that in Canada, because of the United States, like the United States, like in Manitoba and shit, they're blocking the roads to the United States. So like important artery, like Canada is like a wasteland. There's nobody lives in Canada. It's like bigger than the United States, but nobody lives in it. So they need everything that they have from the United States. Well, all the highways into Canada are being blocked right now. And the U.S. government is annoyed by this because we like to sell stuff because we don't really sell that much. So we need to like keep everything that we can. And the government's like, hey, Canada, why don't you get rid of these assholes on the road? And Canada, in their constitution, apparently, doesn't have federal law enforcement. All law and order is apparently kept completely by the independent states of Canada. So there isn't really like a federal law enforcement to enforce some kind of rule like that. Unless they declare it like a terrorist organization, and then they can send in the military to get rid of the truckers. That's that from my very brief understanding of it. They would have to like declare the truckers like an actual like insurgency in order to remedy it by sending in the military. The RCMP can react. But from what I saw, the Constitution of Canada explicitly provides that the states are responsible for law and order. So in order for the federal government to do something about it, they have to declare it to be like an actual like insurgency or like terrorist incident to send in the federal government. That from what I read, that seems to be the case because they were debating it in the halls of intellectualism called Reddit. This person hit it from the wrong angle. He says this seems stupid to me. If you're going to freeze these donations because they're using to fund crimes, shouldn't the police just start arresting people since they're now saying the protests are crimes? Well, that's interesting. They're not breaking the law, but they're using the law to say that this is like criminal funding. So it's like you should be arresting people. There should be like a crime you can point to say that the protest is illegal. The government's trying to call it an occupation. Well, they have to, apparently, in order for that to happen. And this is the best one. The best comment that I saw. Nikitin says, and still, nobody can see possible future problems with a digital currency. I mean, this seems like an excellent argument for a digital currency. The government can snap its fucking fingers and say that your money is illegal, and now you can't participate in the global economy because they said so. Like, I'm pretty sure that's an argument for digital currency, but like Redditors are just like, oh no, now that our government is less effective at arbitrarily declaring money illegal, we need to ban cryptocurrency so that they can control the strings of absolutely everything in my life and society. We need to make sure that they have total domination over literally everything. And this is like not a totally unheard of opinion. This isn't like a retarded person. This guy has 166 likes on his post. Like 166 people read this and said, "Yeah, we need to stop crypto before people can like feed themselves using it when the government declares that their money is criminal money." It's really baffling. I don't know. Though I have to admit, I really don't understand people's fascination with it. The whole trucker protest. I guess I just realized in their background. Hold up. Let me pull this up real quick. Can I get this background image? Here. Wait. No. Aha. Look at this. Look at what they did to my country. They made Canada like this nice rainbow. It looks like oil on like a parking lot when it rains, but then my country is grayed out like it's not unlocked yet. It's still, you have to do a couple more achievements before you get America. You got Canada, and then you got this fucking wasteland of gray right below it. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Something about Canada. Oh, like I don't know. I guess they're hoping that it will spread. Like apparently it went to New Zealand and shit, but I don't know. Here, I'll make a prediction, chat. I'll tell you what's going to happen. Get ready for truckers to be replaced by AI. You guys know those self-driving cars that they've been testing out for the last half decade? Get ready for that, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to say, oh, God, they found a way to make our lives at the tippy top a little bit more inconvenient. We better put the fucking rush in on those AI trucks that we ordered, because these assholes are using their trucks to cause problems for us. Like, probably in the next year or so, get ready, because no doubt other countries are looking at this and thinking like, oh, God, we got to get rid of these truckers. Truck AI is 10 years away at minimum. Not if they make. Here's what they're gonna do. You say that it's cope. They could probably get it to work if the roads didn't have like human driven cars. So emergency mandate from Joe Biden. Global warming, serious threat. Any car that runs on fossil fuels has to be turned in. They're doing a government buyback of all carbon, of all gas guzzlers on the market, and you have to buy one of these self-driving Tesla cars that have batteries on them. And then all of our streets are nice and clean for the self-driving vehicles that can. You're blocking the road in your Tesla to protest the government. The CIA is now logged into your car and it's moving it off to the side so that the government can conduct its business. And you'll get your car back in 24 hours, or you can pay a fee. You can pay a civil disobedience tax to turn your car back on right now. Get ready for it, fuck boys. It's gonna happen. That's the one thing I like about the United States is driving on the highway. So that's that shit they got to get rid of. They got to find some way to ruin that too, and they're gonna do it. They got an excuse for it. They got global warming, so they're gonna do it. I guarantee you, they're gonna do it. 10 years away? No. You will be surprised. You will be surprised how fast the machinations of the Antichrist work when they find a problem like this. Car subscriptions? Oh, just you fucking wait. I read an article where it's like the car itself will be the subscription. You're not going to own your vehicle anymore. You're just going to rent. You're going to get a new one every couple of years like an iPhone. But you'll never truly own it. I mean, why would you ever need a car full time? It's like I have like all sorts of little rental programs. You can just rent a bike or a scooter or whatever you want. You can rent a car. You can it'll just be a gig economy. Car license. They already have those. In the EU, there will be mandatory black boxes in cars. I'm sure. Europe's already a lost cause. Americans still have a little bit of like freedom love in them, but the Europeans are docile, complacent, chill, relaxed, cool. I have some good news though. Some interesting news. Yeah, let me figure out a way to summarize this. So, if you've listened to the podcast for a long time, like 2 years now at least, you'll remember a stream I did called Internet Juche a long time ago. And I talked about a series of problems that I faced, the most recent of which being the Zenforo license being revoked, stemming from one guy called Samuel Collingwood Smith. He's British, and he doesn't like me. He doesn't like me because we have a thread on him. He was like a Gamergate journalist on a little blog of his, and he asked someone on the forum to dox and like an enemy of his, and he asked Dynastia. So of course Dynastia like doxed him instead on the forum, and Sam's reaction has been for like 5 years now. It's been a long time to try and shut down the site through increasingly desperate means, and then at a certain point in the last couple of years, he kind of stopped. And I think that's because the FBI finally got the UK police to talk to him about how it's not okay to send bomb threats to hospitals. So he's been quiet. He's still around. He'll still prop up every so often to do something stupid. But I was sent this. Sam sued someone in the United Kingdom. Can't remember for what. But she countersued him for defamation. Because he writes a blog and he slanders people, basically. Not slanders, but so what's the written? How did I forget this? What is the written version of slander? It's both defamation, slander is spoken, libel is written. So his blog is mostly libel. He writes whatever the fuck he wants, and he's been immunized from consequences for so long because, like, people just want to get away from him. Even in the UK, people just want to get away from him. But this lady, who might be a tranny, I don't really know, Esther Ruth Baker, probably because he sued her first, because he's a litigious asshole, He has a master's degree in law, but he can't become a solicitor because solicitor firms in the UK are very like competitive, and he's like a psychopath, and they don't want anything to do with him. So he just acts. He does like shitty little fake lawyer things. It's called being a McKinsey friend. If you're in the UK, your legal system is an actual nightmare, and I can't believe that your country has not like committed suicide. But he acts as a McKinsey friend, and Esther was sued, and she sued back for libel. And there are 11 different accusations, and I believe that in 10 of them, the court under the Justice Griffiths found that 10 of them were satisfactory to the definition of defamation in the UK. And there's like 2 prongs to this test, from what I understand, and there are 2 parts to this decision. The first one is, and I'll read you like an example of this, I guess, just to give you an idea of what he's writing. The first publication on May 6, 2019 is a blog article titled Jess Phillips, MP, Mark Watts, and Who Raped Esther Baker. Under it is a photograph of Jess Phillips, MP. The 8 passages complained are: 1. Baker was also ordered to have a psychiatric assessment be filed at court. 2. Were Phillips and Watts right to encourage a vulnerable, mentally ill woman in making unproven allegations public? 3. On Twitter, Baker admitted to being psychotic. 4. When a vulnerable, lonely, and deeply unattractive person is shown an apparent friendship by charismatic journalists or politicians, it is easy to see how they may tell their friend what that person wants to hear. From the statements made on behalf of her lawyer, it is clear Baker falls into that category. Wow, that's nice. You should see what he says about me. 5. What I saw at court was a tiny, mentally ill woman being headed down a path greatly to her detriment. 6. 4 years ago in 2015, Esther Baker began approaching politicians of all parties, making bizarre and regularly changing allegations of abuse. It was obvious to them that she was not well. For example, in private correspondence between Labour MP John Mann and Hemming, her allegations made no coherent sense. Mann also said, warned the media not to treat a story as credible because a false story would be damaging and dangerous. 7. He spotted straight away there's something wrong with Esther. 8. That one has nothing to do with Esther. And then he goes on to say that Baker, the meaning of these passages is that A, Baker is mentally ill and has been making untrue allegations. Her untrue allegations are dangerous and may discredit real victims. No attention should be paid to her when she makes them. And then the judge says that the meanings I have found are all defamatory. And it goes on, it's something like that. He basically just calls her in 11 different fucking articles that he's written over 3 years that she's completely insane. When she accuses people of raping her, nobody should pay attention to it. And the judge said that that is, in almost every case, defamation. Crown copyright. This article belongs to the Queen. Don't you fucking take it and publish it and say that I wrote this, because it belongs to Lizzie, you fuckers. Which now means that it is completely founded for me to say that Samuel Collingwood Smith is a convicted defamer, libeler, yellow journalist. You can't say that I am defaming him by saying that, because it's actually true, as says Honorary Mr. Justice Griffiths, and Queen Elizabeth says right here, belongs to her. So, very interesting. The second part of this, from what I understand, what I was told by British people, I had to consult the Ukroids about what this means, is that what the judge does here is he goes down what the complaints are and says, he looks at each article, and he makes a determination if they are actually defamatory. And in all the instances here, as I mentioned, he finds that they're actually defamatory. The second prong is to determine what the real damage is. Do these remarks inflict some sort of wrong that can be restituted by Samuel Collingwood Smith? And that's the money zone. So if she's entitled to any compensation from him, that will be determined in the next edition of Justice Griffith's publication, copyright of Queen Elizabeth. So I eagerly await to see that, because from what I understand, he sits in his apartment, paid for by the Crown, of course, and he writes his blog, and that's all he does. And it's all he's done for over a decade now. And he's in a constant state of anger and indignant rage towards absolutely everyone. And his existence is bankrolled by the crown, by the taxpayers of the United Kingdom, the Ukroids. And he takes that money and he damages the reputations of people who pay for his existence, basically. And he is the main reason why I'm completely against any form of Social Security. I think that people like him should have to make time in between their wagey schedules to write. Because, like, once you start working, like if Sam had to go and, like, he had that job of, like, working on a farm where they have to, like, go elbow deep into a cow's ass to clear any rectal blockages. If he had to, like, scoop cow shit directly out of a cow's asshole, he would have a new perspective on life and what's worth his time and the value of $1. And all that shit he's angry about every fucking day would just be like, whatever. I work a real job. I labor. I provide for my country. And I don't take gibs. I don't take handouts from the government, simple as. And he wouldn't care anymore about stupid shit. So I think that people who want to be like him should either have to work a job and find time to be angry in between their jobs, or they should just die. They should literally starve to death on the street, beg like a gypsy child, begging for handouts and loaves of bread from passerbys who do work jobs. And because then they can't then they don't have time anyways to do bullshit that hurts society. This should just be how it is. But unfortunately, we're in this conundrum where the crown pays for detriments to the crown. It's a sorry state of affairs, is what it is. Did you do anything like that on a goat farm? No, I did not. I've never been to a goat farm. I'm pretty sure. Here, I have a funny story. Speaking of Canadians, my mom took me to Canada once. We went to Niagara Falls. That's the only part of Canada I've ever been to. I've been there twice, actually. I've been there several times. But I crossed the border and went up to the falls, and then there was like a little park nearby, and it had deer, and you could go pet the deer. In fact, you could pay money to get treats for the deer from little like gumball machines. They had deer feed in them, and they were very friendly, but they expected you to give them food. They didn't want you to just like pet them for free. You had to like bribe them with deer treats. But I go up there, and I'm feeding the deer, and I'm petting the deer, and I run out of food. My mom gives me some Canadian Monopoly money to go buy more deer treats with. And I'm walking, and this fucking deer walks up to me as I'm trying to open the gumball machine to get him food so I can feed his fat ass. He walks up, and he eats the money. He eats the dollar bills out of my fucking hand. And I'm like, bro, that's like $5 Canadian. I could have bought you so many fucking things of feed with $5 Canadian, and your dumbass eats the bill. What the fuck is wrong with you? So I think we gave up feeding the deer after that. What an asshole. Buck broken. Pretty much. Was he Jewish? I guess so. He went up and he just smelled the money in my hands and just ate it. I was like, well, fuck you too, asshole. I guess nobody else gets fed today. Deer was a communist. So. Okay. That's the Smith update. I don't have. I guess I should have gotten clips of the Ralph shit, huh? If I was good at what I do, I would have clipped it. But I don't have any clips. Do I need to clip it? Do I need to like show people specific moments of this conversation? I have the video downloaded. I did a commentary of it for the Gumroad people. No. Yes. I'll just sum up my opinions of it. So Ralph hasn't done anything interesting this week. He's been quiet because he got his ass kicked on the internet by Medicare. He begged for Jim's attention. He wrote 2 articles making fun of Jim for having cancer or whatever the fuck. And he does an entire stream where he like rants about Jim, his internet daddy who had forsaken him. And it comes across very pathetic. So Jim says, okay, I'll talk to you. And Ralph says, it's got to be on the kill stream, baby. It's got to be on the kill stream. And Jim says, I'm not going to like promote your fucking show for you by showing up. I want another platform to talk on. And then I think Brittany Venti came up as a suggestion, and Ralph said no. And then Flamenco came up as a suggestion, and Ralph said no. And then Mundane Matt paid money to super chat Ethan Ralph and suggest that he could host it. And Ralph said, okay. And Jim said, okay. And so, years after the famous Boulder stream, the three meet up again on Mundane Matt's, literally called the Boulder Talk Radio. That's what he named his fucking podcast. And they have a nice little chit chat. And it lasts for about an hour and a half. And to summarize it very briefly, Ralph goes through like the stages of grief live on air. He starts screaming at Jim, and Jim just starts making pig noises and calling him a rage hog. And so that doesn't work. And then there's like a little back and forth where Ralph racks his addict mind to say, well, what about this? You say that this is okay, but what about the time that you did this? And he just constantly has this whataboutism. Like, what about this? Well, what about this? And every time, and this was of interest to me, I figured it out as after my commentary, when I thought about it a bit. But every time he says, you definitely dox people, Jim says, name one person. And Ralph can. He says, well, you shit talked my my baby mama. Jim says, no, I haven't. Show me. And Ralph can't do that. And this happens like 4 or 5 times where Ralph says, you've done something to wrong me. And he just asks, show me where. Show me that I've done this. And Ralph cannot do it. And then it cycles because he's drinking. He's got this red Solo cup in his hand. And he's taken sips. He's taken sips as time goes on. And he's becoming progressively more drunk. And as he's becoming more drunk, his walls start to melt around him. And as that happens, he shows his true feelings. He has to be defensive to look cool to his audience, right? So he's like raging and being angry about shit. But then once the alcohol tears down that wall, he can't help but laugh at the man making fun of him. Jim is making fun of him, and the jokes are kind of funny, and Ralph laughs at them, even though they're about him, because he can't help himself. He loves this man. He loves this internet personality who helped make his podcast, his little kill stream shit. And even though he's super angry at him because he's shaking pill bottles and making fun of him, he can't help but laugh at Daddy Jim's jokes because he's so infatuated with him in this unrequited romance. And he's thinking about how, like, he can't say it. He can't bring himself to say it, but his real grievance is that Jim did not defend him. He never defended him. He never stood up for him like a good dad would for his son. And he sounds choked up. I don't know if he's actually on the verge of tears. People said it sounded like he was choking up. It just sounded like he was drunk or laughing or whatever. But he's basically begging this man. He's begging this man who he just called old, despite the fact that he's like 4 years older than him. Probably in better health, even though he has cancer and some mystery disease that's killing him. And he's begging him, just defend me on the internet, defend my reputation, and breathe life into my show. And he's begging for this. And it's very sad. It would be sad if it wasn't Ethan Ralph, who has undoubtedly deserved everything that's happened to him. And I can say like he deserves it because it's not even like in a karmic sense. It's like someone's an asshole and then they get into a car accident and they can't walk. And you say, oh, well, that's karma. Well, I don't know if you can say that's karma because how do you know? Do you have the divine wisdom that series of events was definitely meant to happen and that's retribution from some unseen power that makes it karmatic? Like, no, you don't have that. So it's not your place to say, really. You might be happy it happened, but you can't say that it's karma. But with Ralph, it's not even karma. It's just like, yeah, you fucking idiot. This is what happens when you piss off absolutely everybody. It's not even karma. It's like, this is the obvious consequence of what you're doing. You're sticking a fork into an electrical outlet, and then you're getting shocked by electricity from doing that. Like, yeah, obviously that was going to happen. Why are you surprised? So I listened to it. I've listened to it twice. I saw it a couple hours after it happened. Then I saw it for when I did commentary for the Fan Zone, because I didn't want to just like talk over the entire thing the stream and dedicate the entire stream to it. But I made a comment on my community post that I would address 3 things in this stream and explain. I said, number 1, perhaps very contentiously. I said very contentiously that Ralph successfully dodged having a boulder moment. And in case you're new to the internet, in case you've only just found the site and my little streams or whatever, when Monday Matt had his boulder moment, it was years ago. It was at the very end of IBS. Zidane and Gator and Jim were all showing up on the kill stream still. And Monday Matt was accused of flagging down videos talking shit about him. And because Monday Matt had posited himself as this great free speech champion, nothing gets under his skin, yada yada, him doing that was really, really embarrassing. And he vehemently denied it because it would have like tanked any credibility he had in the sphere, the sector, or whatever. And he was successfully bullied by Zidane and Medicare into showing his report history, and he had indeed flagged those videos down. And Jim then insisted that he say the words, "I am a soy-filled bitch, and I am sorry I flagged your video down." And Monday Matt decided to do this because he thought if he did that, if he just prostrated himself a little bit, he could salvage his little internet career shit and everything would move on. And he did. And it didn't work because then he was just a soy-filled bitch, and he did flag the videos down, and nobody had any respect for him whatsoever. I say that Ralph successfully avoided having a boulder moment because he never admitted doing wrong ever. He got up there and he maintained the entire time that everyone else had wronged him, and he never apologized, and he never really groveled in a way that I think his few remaining fans that continue to support him would take notice of. And people would disagree with that and say, well, he definitely looked really pathetic there. It sounded like he was on the verge of tears. But then you look at his stream, like undoubtedly the boulder shit ruined Mundane Matt. He lost everything he had built over years after that stream. And when I look at Ralph's streams, he's still pulling in like $100 every tequila sunrise from super chats. So he's making like several $1,000s still, and his audience doesn't care. And probably because he never showed his taint. He never groveled. He never said that he was a soy-filled bitch and he's sorry that he did shit. He never admitted fault ever. Which is why I'm saying that if that's how you're evaluating things, if you're comparing it to Mundane Matt, you might say that that looked as pathetic to a impartial observer as Mundane Matt's. But really, when it comes down to what actually happened as a consequence of the Boulder thing, that's not going to happen to Ralph. Because he didn't really admit, he had to admit fault, and he didn't, is my point. Second, I said Mundane Matt did not redeem himself, and that's much less contentious. I think a lot of people would agree with that, for 2 reasons. I mentioned during my Wings of Redemption stream that with Jordy Jordan, there was that very famous stream that he did where PPP showed his taint and he's doing fine. Well, he never admitted fault for that either. I was using an allegory from or a reference to the Sam Hyde documentary. Anyways, Matt, like Wings of Redemption, he would cross this boundary. It's like the ironing circle. When you do something and it's pitiful, it's like pathetic. He's like crying that he's playing Call of Duty and people are trolling him. But then he gets so pathetic where he starts saying, I just wanted to have a stream and have a good time. And I just really wanted to get that fucking surgery. I just wanted it so bad. And then he starts doing the whimper, the dog whimper. Hoo, 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 hoo. And it's just like, it breaks something in my fucking brain where it spins all the way around from like feeling bad for this guy to like hating him. Like, stop groveling. It's so angering. And Matt does this. Matt does this thing where it's like, you know, he can be tolerable, but then he tries to own the Boulder thing so much. He names his show Boulder Talk Radio, and it like spins around from like owning the joke to like redefining yourself about like the worst moment of your streaming career. It's just like, stop. You know, like it's pathetic. And then. And that's just the side. The real thing is, after this, he wanted to keep the gravy train going. He made all this money from super chats and shit, from having Jem on and getting this audience. So he's like, fuck, who can I invite now that Ralph's gone to keep the super chats going? And he invites like actual fucking pedophiles onto his like post stream just to keep content going. It's like, I'm not listening to this. I don't want to fucking hear these people. These fucking like disgusting sick fucks that you're bringing onto your after stream just to get super chat money. It's disgusting, bro. So I really was not enamored, or I really didn't like his like it just showed that he makes bad decisions. Still, he didn't really. It wasn't just Vito. But it really shows that he just makes bad decisions. Like if it has any chance of like spiting his enemies or making him money, like there is no boundary there. And it's just like I can't like tolerate something like that. So I didn't listen to the after stream because I saw who was on it. I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna give this attention. So the second point, Matt didn't redeem himself. Like, you can say he won or whatever. Like, I don't care. It's really hard to lose versus Ralph. Like, Puerto Rican children, or not Puerto Rican, Portuguese children can kick his ass. Gypsies can beat his ass. Like, anyone can. He's a punching bag for literally everyone. So, like, no. And then third. And how do I want to phrase this? I have to be careful. I said a stream ago or 2 streams ago that I was wrong about both Ralph not wanting to take shots at Jem and Jem never going to take shots at Ralph. And I understand why. Now, I understand what the hesitance was and why it took so long for Jem to make fun of Ralph. And I'll tell you what the answer is. You ready, chat? Are you ready? I've got this figured out. You can't even debate this with me. I'm 100% right this time. Nothing you motherfuckers say can change my mind. It'll blow your mind, chat. Jem waited 2 years to make fun of Ralph because it was the Portugal trip was the first thing that Ralph has done since the pill stream that did not involve a significant other. He made it clear that if you do something, people will play by those rules against you. And he made very obvious efforts not to bring up Faith or Aid or May the entire time. It was the first thing that he could make fun of that was not a girl, because he doesn't want people playing by those rules and going after Jade. I'm 100% sure of it. That was it. Name something that happened with Ralph that didn't involve him fucking with some chick. And by the way, he can't just say that. He can't just come out and be like, I'm not going to comment on this because I don't want to bring up people's girlfriends and stuff. Because what does that mean? It highlights that he doesn't want people to fuck with Jade. And he doesn't want to say that. So he just has to shut up and deal with people calling him a gunt guard for 2 years, I guess. Just an observation I made. The fight in Digi's home. May was there. She was in the background. The entire thing was like a relationship breakup. Because how do you comment on him going over to Digibro's house without bringing up why he was there? He was there to get May's shit. That's the entire reason of the fight. The Rekieta fallout? Maybe. That's maybe the only thing. But what does Ralph say about Rekieta? He immediately goes for Rekieta's kids and says that he has like a brood of retards or something. So how do you comment about the Rekieta thing without bringing up Rekieta's kids? It can't. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I've cracked the code, chat. I've cracked the code. You have nothing. I win, shit. Remember the French guy JF that everyone wanted to do? Dude, what was the drama with JF? The drama with JF was that he was fucking retarded chicks. How do you comment on that without bringing that up? What do you say about JF besides the fact that he's fucking retards? That was the entire drama. The custody battle over the adults that he was in a relationship with, that was the JF drama. I wonder why he didn't want to talk about that. Could it be the exact same reason he didn't talk about Ralph for 2 years? I'm telling you, it is an airtight. I have figured this out. It is airtight. You cannot fucking touch me. Drop this, the crown. Okay, no, I just wanted to brag. You're just schizo. No, you can call me schizo when I'm publishing my manifesto. Until then, there is no proof of this. Though, I think I am bipolar. I've been last weeks or so. I've been a Debbie Downer. I haven't gotten any, I have been completely unproductive for at least a month now. That's very depressing. It's always been like this though. Even when I was a teenager, I would like cycle between like bouts of like intense productivity and bouts of doing absolutely nothing. And when I'm feeling better, it's like even. Like it's a couple weeks of both, but when it's not, it's like more unproductive weeks than good weeks. Stop being fat. I'm working on it. I'm still losing weight. Jeez Louise. I start working out. Nah. Seasonal affective disorder. It's a very short cycle though. It's like a week or two. It's like 2 weeks of. I'll tell you what it is. I started working really fast on the forum project, and then I stopped around the 24th of December because it was Christmas, and then I played a Hearts of Iron 4 for a couple weeks, and then I started working on the project again, and I got stuck. Because I got into multi-part forums, which are how files are uploaded. And the way that Actix handles multi-part forms is very clunky. You have to literally interpret like the binary, or not the binary, but the bytes. So, like the form parsing that they have doesn't work, and it was just I was very unsatisfied with the code that I had written, and that like killed my motivation. And now I've been playing Dota, which is how you. I think I've said this. I think I made this exact same joke last time this happened, but I'm depressed when I'm playing Dota. You're not ADHD or Asperger's. Isn't Asperger's a part of autism? They don't distinguish between the two. Dota. It's really weird. Like I play in US East, Europe, and Russia. Those are my 3 regions, and it's really obvious like where I'm playing before I even check, just based on like how the players play. It's very different. And it's crazy. When I play this game, I just want to hear people speak English. I have queued up for English, no other language. When I'm in Europe, everyone's speaking like Turkish, or they're speaking Polish, or they're speaking some stupid fucking language I don't understand. And if I'm in Russia, they only speak Russian. And if I'm in America, they only speak Spanish. It drives me fucking crazy. I'm in U.S. East, and they're from Ecuador and Mexico, and it's like, this is not U.S. East. Mexico is nowhere near U.S. East. Why are you speaking Spanish in my fucking Dota game? And it's like, I just want to hear Americans yelling at each other and saying the N-word, and I want to understand what the fuck is happening in my game when I'm in voice chat, and it's just like, ho ho ho, yeah yeah yeah, yo trabajo sniper, and then they feed as fucking sniper, and they suck, and they're speaking to each other, and everyone on my team is Tacoian, and it's just so frustrating. It's like, surely there are people who speak English playing this fucking game. I really hate it. No way I'd play it. I mean, I don't have an option. I just play Turbo, so it doesn't matter. Americans only play COD and Battlefield. Dude, I played COD too. Like, for a couple days, I switched back to Windows, and I downloaded fucking Call of Duty Warzone, and here, I'll even show you this because it pissed me off, and I think I complained about it at the time, but I was playing Call of Duty, like, the one where you jump out the plane and it's like a battle royale thing. I played a bunch of that, and I played in the one where you have to like collect money. I thought that was way more fun than the normal version. But German flag and Call of Duty. This literally drives me crazy. Look at this shit. This is not real. This is not a real flag, okay? I want to make it perfectly clear to absolutely everyone that this is not a real flag. And where is it? Where is it? Why does this not show up? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Can OBS not break for like 30 seconds, please? I guess I don't get to show you all. Oh, here. This. This is not a real flag. Like, this is like the army symbol, and I think that flag is like the naval ensign, and it's well, this is the one that they use in the game, but it's like the army flag inside the naval ensign with the swastika remove, and it's like nowhere ever has that flag ever flown over anything. And it's like, why are you like afraid of this? Why are people so fragile that in our World War II shoot 'em up game, people have to like censor flags and shit? It drives me crazy. But I played it, and nobody speaks English there either. So I'm playing these fucking games, I'm in parties and shit, and nobody's talking, and it's just like, it's so dead. And it's like, are people trained now to not talk in public chats? Do you have to be like in your Discord group with your Discord friends in like a private chat room where you can actually say stuff without getting banned? It feels like everybody who plays games now is just like trained by the system to just keep their fucking mouths shut so they don't get automatically banned. It's really sad. It's incredible to me how like isolated and lonely the internet is. You play a game and you just want to like talk to people and bitch and shit, and it's nobody's talking except the Mexicans. The Mexicans can't shut the fuck up, and the Russians. In fact, I was in a game and I was there's a Russian guy on my team, and I started shit talking to the best of my ability, and I kept like saying shit about shouldn't he be in Belarus getting ready to invade Kiev. And he got really, really angry. He's just like screaming at me in Russian. And I pulled up his profile. And he was Ukrainian. And he was in Kiev. And I kept calling him Russian. Good times. See, that's why people play Dota, to yell at people. That's the whole point. Chat. Did I miss anything? I feel like this week sucked, to be honest with you. There's one more thing I can show you, actually, that was requested, but I don't know how to sum it up because it's not something I tend to follow. I'll just show this video on stream, and people can come to their own conclusions. And then I'll shit talk chat for a bit, and then I'll go back to playing Dota. My Fortress of Solitude. Where the fuck is this video? I'm just gonna show you this without context. I want to see what chat says. About 5 minutes long. Okay, we'll watch this. Hopefully it'll load. This is a crapshoot.
Michael! Your kid's got a glass fucking jaw. Every last one of the children that came out of my womb could take your kid and not even break a sweat. Your kid's got a glass fucking jaw, Michael. He ain't shit. I'll never be a fighter. He broke his fucking ankle playing basketball. Not one of my sons have ever broken a bone. Yeah, Spencer's a dick, and I'm not speaking to 3 of my 4 sons. Spencer could kill you and your kid and then go fucking drink a beer. You don't care. Spencer is the kid that you wished Hunter is. And it's a good fucking thing that Spencer's mic came out of me and not fucking Stacy, because God help this fucking planet. If any...
Shout out to Mr. Holmes, who is the first person in chat to use the word schizo while this video plays.
fucking
He's right,
buddy of any fucking note ever came out of that woman's cunt. You pick some vapid, shallow fucking Victoria's Secrets model without a fucking brain cell to rub together in her fucking head to make your babies because you wanted a hot wife. Dumbass. You wanted a vapid, unintelligent, easily manipulated little girl that you could fuck with, whose head you could fuck with, and now you're stuck with her.
Her name is Dana Marie Kane, also known as the Oracle of Venus, and yes, she is schizophrenic. Her weird mannerism, I think, is due to the fact that she is probably drunk in this video. She's an alcoholic, and she's currently facing 2 separate criminal charges. One in Texas, I think, for like harassment or something. And then she also has a DUI in New York. She's on her way to Arizona. I don't know why. People saw the Grand Canyon in one of her videos. I don't know her lore. She's got a complicated lore. She also likes to make sock accounts on the forum all the fucking time. And I have to ban her continuously. That's where I'm most familiar with her, because she keeps joining to send DMs to people. And so she's a monkey on the lam right now, and she's driving drunk, driving away from her DUI charges while intoxicated, and she's making these weird, like, vines. She's putting out like these TikTok videos of her rambling incoherently, addressing various people who may or may not even see these videos, and it's the people in her thread are currently enthralled by this saga. I'll let this video play to completion because she might say something funny.
Now you're stuck with her because you made a fucking baby with her, and you know it. And this kid is fucking worthless. Lays around in his room all day with weak bones, brittle bones, because he can't be a badass like his daddy. Because his mother and his father are fucking retarded.
I think they do exist. From what I gather from this conversation, it sounds like she's having a fight with her ex-husband, who she has a child with, and her ex-husband now has another woman who he has another child with. And I mean, I'm inventing this as a story in my head, just listening to the little bits that she's saying here, but it sounds like she's saying like the kid with your new wife is like a slut, and your kid with her sucks. Our kid together would beat the fuck out of the other kid that you had because he's a little bitch, and she's just properly fucked up. She apparently blames a lot of her life problems on like a lawyer in Texas named Tom. I don't know the details with that. You can look it up if you want. I tried skimming this thread to try and figure out what the fuck is happening, but it's like you either know what's happening already or you're not going to get any information, apparently. Someone said in reply to me asking what the fuck is happening, I'll just skim through this very briefly. She's a waitress who believes herself to be a goddess or possessed by a goddess, reads tarot cards badly, often fired for being crazy, estranged from her family, lives with desperate simps she does pussy voodoo on. Her most recent simp is Mike. Mike had enough and told her to leave his house. She had a meltdown, accused Mike of being a serial killer and rapist, issued some death threats to her exes and family members for good measure. Then she took Mike's car, loaded it with booze, and she's on the road for a few days now, went from New York to Arizona so far. At least 3 other cows orbit her.
Morons, and didn't realize their kid needed proper nutrition and denied him calcium because they said he just randomly, he's lactose intolerant. This kid never got enough calcium growing up, and his bones are brittle at fucking 20. He's gonna be dead by 35. He's worthless.
Wow.
Me, on the other hand, well, my sons all have noble royal blood. Spencer is most likely the genetic descendant of Emperor Nero, who murdered his mother. So, Michael, I got better shit to do with my time than fuck around with you. I have the incarnation of a Roman emperor who killed his mother to ensure his power. So I gotta go fucking convince my dumbass kid to stop being a fucking idiot. You understand? Hi. Hello, Popo.
She is fucking wasted.
So yeah, I don't have time for your bullshit, Michael. Your kids. Hunter is not, you are not Lord of the Flies. You are not the devil incarnate. You're just some fucking loser whose teenage mother got raped. And she never fucking reconciled with you. And you turned into a fucking moron and a killer, and you value everything that's wrong and evil, and your poor kid. Understand, I don't have any sympathy for my asshole kids because I know where they fucking came from, and I don't cut those losers, those assholes, a single bit of fucking slack. I can't be easy on my fucking kids because I know who their parents are. But your kid, I feel sorry for him, Michael. That poor kid doesn't deserve this because he is clearly not cut out for it, and somebody fucking lied to you.
She has like such a gravel to her voice. That's really like characteristic. It's almost like she's doing a like a character voice, and I guess that's just how she talks. What's this video? How long is this one? This one's 8 minutes. I don't know if I want to play 8 minutes. I am upgrading my router, by the way. I'm getting a 2 gigabit per second line because right now, if I look at my shit, it is completely maxed out. It's been at like 900 plus megabits per second out of 1,000 all day. So I have no choice. I'm upgrading my infrastructure. It's going to cost money, but I don't have an option here.
Army, you know how I've been bitching at you guys for years now and accusing you of trying to kill me because your doctors are fucking butchers, and I'm still dealing with the fallout. I still can't eat, guys. I still struggle, and I totally blame the Army. But whatever. I think they could have done a better job on my surgery. Honestly. It didn't have to go down like that. They could have definitely done a better job.
She's from the Army? She was a veteran? This is what happens when you join the Army, kids. You think, oh, I'm going to go get my 4-year degree paid for. And then you get fucked up. A bomb goes off, and now you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs driving down the fucking interstate, screaming at your camera in a stolen car while drunk.
So, just a heads up, Army. This guy I'm living with, August, claims to be an Army Ranger and claims that he's a cold hard hitman who mowed down a village in Fallujah for you guys and got off on an insanity plea. Now, I don't know if any of that's true. Apparently, the records were sealed. And apparently, this guy is just, can kill people with impunity. He's never been caught. Well, I'm thinking that, I feel scared now. I feel like that's serious. The shit he's saying is so fucking serious that I need to remove myself as quickly as possible and reach out to you guys so that you can fucking step up, because I'm guessing you trained him to be this way.
She's not a veteran. She's a wife of a veteran, and she had gastric bypass with the Army? I didn't know TRICARE paid for gastric bypass. Why did she need gastric bypass? Was she like fat? I've never heard that she's fat. Is that why they all call her fat? Whenever they find one of her sock accounts on the forum, they spam that she's fat on her profile. Is that why? Did she have like an unnecessary gastric bypass operation because she thinks she's fat when she's not? That is bizarre. This is not content. Well, too bad. I like my schizos.
He's your problem and it's your jurisdiction. Yeah. So, everybody just needs to, realize
Booze wrecked her gut?
where we are and what we are, and understand that there's a reason why the government doesn't talk about certain things, because I'm living proof that if you know some things that you should not know, well, it can really fucking ruin your day. So, just be careful if you're gonna find out stuff. You're gonna go looking for stuff, go looking for answers. Well, I wasn't actually looking for this particular answer. Was just kind of minding my own business when it showed up and said, hey, I'm a former Army Ranger and a professional hitman for the mob. Let's get married. But right now the voice...
Do you guys think that he actually said that, or is it just like she's just making it up? Do you think he told her that to impress her? ? I will ask my community what they think.
This is telling me to kill you, lady, so I don't know what to do now. You understand, this Army Ranger hears a voice telling him to kill me, and I've been convinced for at least a dozen years that the Army actually wants to kill me. So go ahead and talk your way out of this one, Army. Go ahead. I want to see you gaslight me out of this. Gaslight your way out of this one. I fucking dare you, Army. Now you better clean up this fucking mess. You made the mess of my life, and you are gonna clean it up, Army.
She thinks her gastric bypass fucked up her life? That is bizarre. I'm more mildly intrigued than I was when I started playing these clips, because now I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay. I might look into that. Probably not. I'm probably just going to play Dota and be a negative Nancy for a little bit. Have I missed anything? Oh, the results of my poll. 70% of people who voted believe that he did in fact tell her that to impress her, which just backs up my prior claim that you should never stick your dick in crazy, because it will never end well for you. Your car will be stolen and your child will be made fun of for having brittle bones. Chantal, nothing's happened with Chantal. She's still very salty over Natter, and his new girlfriend is wearing her slippers in live streams, and she's very angry that her slippers have been commandeered by this new woman. Boogie 1488, I think he's going to plea out on his charges. It's very weird to think the Boogie stuff happened right around the time the revenge porn happened with Ralph. And Ralph shit's already taken care of, and Boogie's just now getting to like a plea with the authorities where he lives. She has gonorrhea again. Oh yeah, I knew that she was getting tested. The clinic called her asking for Nader, so she probably has a new STD. She has a new variant of COVID. She has the fat variant. But Boogie shot Ralph, if only. That would be funny. The only other thing that Ralph is doing is he's legit selling tickets to go bowling at this dump in Dallas, Texas. And he's planning, I swear to God, and this is the funniest shit, he is planning on marrying Pantsu in Dallas at this bowling alley where she will be 9 months pregnant when that happens. And he intends to drive her in his truck. I think it's an 18-hour drive from Richmond, Virginia to Dallas, Texas by car. So he's going to drive her in the 9th month of pregnancy to Dallas, Texas to be wed by Dick Masterson and fans of the Kill Stream and the Dick Show. And it makes me laugh because when I think about this, I think about how he wanted to get married to May, like in Vegas, like when they had the what was supposed to be that huge, awesome live stream bachelor pad with like Dick there and a bunch of other people, but nobody came, and then nothing happened that proved that Dick was even there. And it's like, I just imagine he really, really wants Dick to be his best man, and he's trying to like reschedule this wedding in the last second so that wherever Dick happens to be, he will be at the wedding, even though he refuses to show up at these at the wedding. Dick is doing everything he can to avoid going to this fucking wedding, and Ralph just keeps rescheduling it so that he'll be there when they get married. And I just imagine, like, Dick is going to break his arm right before the bowling alley thing. He's going to be like, sorry, Ralph, I can't go to the Killstream Kingpin. I'm going to be at home. So Ralph is then going to take Pantsu from Dallas, Texas, and he's going to drive an additional 18 hours from Dallas to Los Angeles, and he's just going to get married to Pantsu, like, in front of the Barbie doll mansion. He's just going to get married on the street in front of Dick's house. And he won't have any option. He'll have to be there because Ralph is in his fucking yard getting married to this woman who is, like, unable to stand because she's so pregnant. And Ralph is going to chase him to the ends of the fucking earth to get this done. That's funny with me. I think, I mean, has anything else happened besides that? That's pretty funny, but Dick won't be there for Ralph and Jim to save him. It's true, he's running out of bridges, man. He pissed off Gator and Medicare by being a belligerent retard. He doxed Gator. Nick Fuentes is looking at having to kick him off Cozy because he doxed Augie, RFC or whatever, on Cozy TV, who's also a streamer there. So it's like, if he pisses, like, Nick Fuentes is still trying to stand by him, but it's like Nick Fuentes and Mersh, who I don't know anything about, and Southern Dingo. That's about it. That's about all he got. So, I mean, and it ain't much. Especially if he... Oh, and I guess he has his Odyssey contract, but... I mean, who knows? It is very strange. Sorry, Ralph, I can't make it. I killed myself. I don't know. Josh, why are you fat? Serious question. I eat. I mean, I'm losing weight. I keep saying this, but nobody believes me. Nobody believes me, and I'm not going to post pictures proving it, so you'll never believe me. It'll just be a meme forever. Pete's update? There is no Pete's update. He's alone in his room crying. The corn cob. I can't promote people going to Ralph's house and dumping shit on his porch. It is funny. Somebody literally dropped like corn cobs on his front porch. But I can't endorse it, chat. I can't endorse it. Frederick exposed my Coke Zero addiction. I have a forum post that's now like 10 years old, where I talk about how much Coke I drink. I don't know why that's news. Moot's not dead. That's literally fake news. The whole thing about Moot being like arrested for child pornography, that was completely fake. Nobody bothered to like fact check that. Did I co-sign the corn? I don't know, Ralph. I can't co-sign that. I can't co-sign dumping shit on your front porch. Oh. Did Gator say sorry to me? He apologized for like various things, but I told him, I explained it very eloquently in a private message, but the gist was, Ralph and him pushed a line that I was like a child predator for years. And Gator did this without evidence, like without reason. Only because Ralph paid him a pittance to call me a pedophile for years did he do this. And then he apologizes for like something completely irrelevant. He apologized for like accusing me of like doxing him or trying to dox him or something. And it's like, bro, like, the only thing that you've ever said about me that's actually like defamatory in a way that normal people care about is something that you've never apologized for. And I can't, even if you did apologize for that, like how am I supposed to like improve my opinion of you? Because the reality is that Gator held that line for one of two reasons. Either A, he always thought that I was a pedophile and he associated with me before Ralph didn't like me anyways, because it's okay to associate with pedophiles as long as they show up on your show and promote your show. Or B, he doesn't think that, and he only says it because Ralph paid him like $200 a month to. And it's like, I really can't forgive you for that. I really can. And then he just called me like a weirdo or something. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not really in a hurry to, make friends with Gator. I don't have anything against him, but I don't have a positive opinion of him either. Not worth the time, exactly. It's just like, I'm glad that you realized eventually how retarded your association with this belligerent, drunk, revenge pornographer was. But it's a little bit late for that, don't you think? I remember I offered him a genuine and sincere offer years ago now on D Live. I said, Gator, after the revenge porn thing was in 2020, I said, if you cut the gunt at this point, and now is the appropriate time. The revenge pornography shit shows that he is truly someone who has no low he will not sink to. And he wasn't proud of that at that point. He still pretended that he had morals and he was like Christian right or something. I said, like, if you drop the gun, I will give you an opportunity to mod the forum. Probably in articles and happenings, because I need more mods for that board because it's shit. And he said no. And it's like, okay. But that was like a genuine offer. And I bet you a motherfucker would be happier if he had joined the dark side. And like if having some responsibility is like what you need, like, okay, I'll give it a try. Who knows what will happen? And he said no. And then I was right. And he acknowledges that I was right. But I don't know. I have nothing against Gator, but he has definitely like permanently severed any sort of potential like compassion or empathy that I would have for him. The dark side. So that's my take on that. I'm nothing like, I don't know. He mentioned my DM to him. It's like, if he wants to publish it, go for it. I don't care, but I'm not gonna preemptively jump that. Would I have paid Gator more than $200? I don't know. Maybe in the future. I would like to. If the site ever becomes properly profitable, I'll need help. I'm at my wit's end. I can't do everything all the time. And even right now, like, there's issues with the site and there's technical issues, and I've been trying to contact people, and I'm like, I need help. I need help from upstream. I need you guys to do shit for me that I've had a ticket lodged since December, and I can't get a reply. Like, I can't even get people who I pay to do their job to talk to me. And I need the help, and I can't just like switch service providers, because I'm lucky for any service provider to tolerate my site at this point. So I can't just be like, fuck it, I'll move it to someone else who will help, because I don't know if they'll put up with the site for however long. So it's like there's technical aspects, and there's moderation issues, and then there's financing issues, and the new software has to come eventually, even if it's not on time, because I'm fucking lazy and burned out. It's like, it has to come eventually. And it's just like, I wish I could put together a team and dedicate myself to it and oversee it and have reliable people that I knew I could count on. And right now I do. At least for the forum moderation, like, the people who moderate the site do a very good job, and there's not many complaints about moderation. And all the complaints about moderation come from the Articles and Happenings board, because every single goddamn post that gets deleted in Articles and Happening is a vast left-wing tranny conspiracy. Like, someone makes a post saying that someone should drive a truck into the Canadian Parliament. The post gets deleted. And then there is an outcry from people on that board, like, why are tranny jannies deleted in their vast left-wing conspiracy trying to stifle our movement? It's like, because, motherfucker, number one, you're a guest here. This is a website about internet drama, and you should be counting your fucking blessings that I even tolerate you. And number two, you cannot advocate driving a truck into the Canadian Parliament on my fucking website because it will cause problems that I do not need. That is why. And then there was another one where the Joe Biden mega thread was like 4,000 pages long, 20 posts per page, and it's like, what is that, like 80,000 posts? So you try to do any kind of moderation action in the thread, and it takes literally minutes to happen. And Ride locks the thread and says, like, we need a new thread because this thread is too slow to do moderation shit in it. And then there's, like, genuine rage. He even links, like, the new thread that you can post it. And there's genuine rage about, like, some left-wing conspiracy from the top down to destroy the very effectual anti-Biden thread on the forum. And it's like, no, you fucking monkeys. Your thread is just too fucking big. And we made a new one for you. Like, why does this have to be a conspiracy? I guess people are used to being treated like shit everywhere, but for real, calm the fuck down. It's so tiring. Right ringers are brain dead. It's true. That's why I don't form any opinions anymore. I have no opinions. I've decided, as far as my political take goes, tell me how hot this opinion is. I realize through my travels, like I went to I mentioned this on stream and everyone got angry at me for talking about my travel plans like a white girl, but I went to Tiraspol in the Pridnestrovyan People's Republic, which is the true successor to the Soviet Union. They still have the hammer and sickle on their flag and everything. And the guy there was just so happy thinking about the USSR and communism and how great things were when the Eastern Bloc was unified. And I'm sure, like, I read an article today about, like, a Somalian who lived in Italian East Africa, and he was still loyal to Il Duce all these years later. And when the Italian Peace Corps went to Africa to help with the civil war in Somalia, he pledged loyalty again to, like, the Italian army and the king and Il Duce. And it's like, you have people who live under communist regimes and fascist regimes and democratic regimes, and everyone is happy with their government as long as they have, like, their basics. If they have shelter and they have work to do to keep them busy and they have food, like, people will find happiness in whatever structure they're in. So there really is no right. There is no, like, correct philosophy, because they all try to achieve the same basic things, and it's really just, does it work? Whatever works, that's what I want. I want something that actually works. And the problem with the U.S. government and the world right now is that it doesn't work, and it is not in service to the people, and that's why everyone's miserable. And people are going crazy right now because they're not happy, and they don't know why they're not happy, and they're trying to figure out a reason why they're not happy. And they're like, it must be because of capitalism. It must be because of black people. It must be because of Jews. And they all have their different theories about why it's not working, and that's why everything is so polarized and divisive, and people are fucking nuts. And it's like they're just not. There is no hope. There is no optimism, and they don't see the future where they're comfortable ever. And it really doesn't matter. People would be as happy under any government as long as they had what they needed to. That's my opinion. I'm a true defeatist. Estrogen makes them happy. All of the above. What do we do, Josh? You're fucked. You're fucked. Go park a semi-truck on the Canadian border. Piece of shit. You have no choices here. Defeated. Retard logic. I don't know. People are, like, super dedicated to, like, their causes. Like, we need if they have their ideas. We'll be happy if we distribute the wealth. We'll be happy if we get rid of the Zionist occupied government. We'll be happy if we lived in a segregated, like, Aryan ethno state. We'd be happy with this and that. And it's like, yeah, probably a little bit of all those things put together. That's completely asinine, you imbecile, says revived Kuhlman Houdini. It's not Houdini. Huin. How the fuck do you pronounce that? Look at this person, this Japanese person. Japanese name. It is tiresome. I don't know. I don't feel very. I don't know. I don't want to talk about politics. I've been talking about politics, and I don't like to, but I don't. I just want people to understand like my apathy when Crunklord is going fucking insane talking about these Canadians and shit on the Fediverse. Every time I log into the Fediverse to check on my Wojak generator, I see him talking about it. And it's like, how do you feel that fire in you about this? What do you think is going to change? We might lift the COVID restrictions, like, we might wrest back the control over to breathe unobstructed air for the first time in 2 years. We might be bestowed that privilege by the government if we just block the roads for years. Like, wow, wonderful. I would love that. I would love to go into a restaurant and not have to wear a fucking mask. I would love to go out and eat food in public without seeing everyone wearing like surgical equipment. But, I don't know. I would love to go to the airport and walk up to my gate and have, company there without having to go through that line. And you know what? I've always felt very uneasy in those TSA lines, because it's like, if something's going to go off, it's going off in those fucking lines where there's like hundreds of people crowded around. I guess there won't be any risk to like government buildings if they don't get a plane, but I'm always sitting there thinking, like, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen right here while I'm fucking waiting for my bags to be checked. Remember, no Russians. It's nice to see the face of the person you're talking to. Like, kids today are developing, like, issues. They're developing without seeing people's faces. Children read lips and look at emotions and stuff, and they just aren't getting that because everyone's cloaked up. When will you give us the commentary on the gym stream? I did. It's on the Gumroad. I'll put it on the podcast feed next week sometime. Considering going to Denmark, they have a nice flag. It's a tempting offer. It's a nice little Nordic cross with a pleasant red, a white cross. Too close to Sweden, though. Show Brave, it's Brave. Use Brave. Download, get Bat. The hyperpolitics. I got a double major in government. The hyperpolitics and borderline retarded. I don't know. My issue with the government is that the people who are elected come from an elite line of, like, let's say you could say I have good ideas for the internet. I could think that. I could think I have great ideas for the internet. I could I could be elected and I could champion myself as someone who knows how to grow digital commerce. That's legitimate. I could do that. But I could never be elected. Like, there is so much that I have said for going back years. There are chat logs that would damn me that are now older than I was when they were written, and I could never get into politics because of that. So our politicians are like this class of people who come from rich families who know very early on how to coach their children to be politically acceptable. They are literally groomed from birth on how to avoid scandal in college and in high school and university so that they never have that dirt come up that makes them look bad. And then they enter the government and they are basically like, what's the word? Debutantes. They're presented to multinational corporations. They get sponsored by international interests and money, and they become politicians, and they have a job, and that job is not public service. The job is to represent. So we have like a charade. I watch like CNN, or not CNN, but C-SPAN debates where people are talking, they're reading their script about their bills and shit, and nobody's paying attention. Everybody, all the Congress people are on their phone. And it's like not a single person there is actually interested in the legislation that they're voted on. They already know how they're going to vote. None of them are going to change their minds based on what is said in the debate halls. It's all literally a charade by a group of people groomed from birth to do this. And I can't stomach it. Just thinking of it gives me like indigestion. I become angry and despondent imagining like how unassailable and irredeemable and completely and totally shattered the entire thing is. And like your cute little trucks parked on the Manitoba American border is just a passing irregularity in our regularly scheduled programming. Isn't this well known? Yeah, it is. It's not like an amazing thought, but I don't know. A lot of people seem to believe it. Like that guy, yes, child, that guy, the Tomlinson. He's on Twitter still talking about Democrats and Republicans. Like, bro, open your fucking eyes. All of them are gonna butt fuck you, dipshit, moron. Registering to vote to choose which sponsored politician groomed from birth to represent you. Like, what a fucking retard. People want hope. I can offer you no hope. I can't even offer you hope that I'll finish my forum. I have nothing for you. Just please stop tagging me and the articles and happenings board to complain about moderators, because I guarantee you none of them are fucking with your posts because of your bullshit opinions. They don't care. Okay? Do you understand? Oh well. I need to pick a song, chat. I don't have one picked out. Start with Katusha. Could I play another? Let's see. Talk to me, chat, while I look at a song. I'll read your messages. Worst European flag. Ooh. That's a good question. Worst European flag. I'll tell you the best one. I'm a big fan of the UK flag. Surprise, surprise. It does a perfect job of representing that country with just basic geometry. Probably Luxembourg. It's too close to the big countries. You have this opportunity to make a cool ass flag and you just don't. Fucking loser. Kosovo's flag is pretty fucking ugly. I know that's like an American puppet state though. It doesn't count. The German flag is not a bad flag. It's just sad. It's like a sunset. Every time I see the German flag, I think that's like a sunset, which can be considered very apropos if you think about it. I do not know what song you can play. Most base flag? Based how? I like the Mozambique flag that has the AK-47 on it. That's pretty fucking based. Why not a sunrise? That's what the Japanese had for a while. The Imperial Sunrise. I'm not playing Rama Rama. I've heard that song so many times now. Portuguese flag has a history. They haven't changed that flag in the longest time. The Ugandan flag doesn't have a rooster on it. It's pretty cool. It's not a bad flag. The trans flag I fucking hate. Every time I see it, I just think of like a blue gash, a surgical vagina that's turned blue, and it's now like rotting. It has like an infection in it or something. You can see like the schmeat. You can see the blue, that it's not getting any blood, and then you can see the creamy white froth of infection right down the middle. That's what I see every time I see it. Terrible flag. I legit don't know. I'm just looking at music. Let me see what I have saved. I have like a library of backup music. So it's perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect flag. The gay flag is really ingenious, though. Like the actual gay one. Not the new one, which has like the weird fucking diversity shit bleeding on it. It literally looks like they took the rainbow flag and then they dipped it in shit or something. It's truly, truly vile. Serbian flag is cool. I've already played Molchat Doma Volnoy. Play some weird music. The DDR anthem. That wasn't an anthem. That was just the party song. Chilean flag looks too much like the Texan flag. I've already played Lapis Trubetskoy. How long is this song? 3 minutes. Okay, I think I have one picked out. Let me make sure I've not played it before, though. Oh, I have played it before. This stream's just never gonna end, I guess. Have I played this one? No, wait, no. Oh, I can't play that because of the country I'm in, or my proxy is. Oh my fucking god. Gayest flag. The Jewish Autonomous Province of Russia, or Oblasts, I guess. MC Jarbo. I've not played the MC Jarbo. You're right. I've not played that last song. Aha. Okay, I have a song picked out then. Wait. Oh, that's a demo. That's not out yet. Okay. Alright. Alright, chat. I'll see you guys next week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
You've been a bitch since I first saw your fucking bitch-ass face. I know exactly who you are, so I don't want to mix any words. You ever seen this motherfucker? Fuck! Bitch-ass motherfucker! Just like that. The gun becomes the violent one. 500 pounds, 5'1", nigga, your ass is gonna be the Bible, son. When the gun becomes the violent one, all these bitches like Riley run. So watch out, cause you might be 1 second away from being finally done. You shake like a leaf, man. I'm so savage with the beef. But how am I gonna eat beef sandwich with neurological damage in my teeth? Really shouldn't be so embarrassed. I'm known to get my ass beat by lethal salad, but Riley salad ain't what you need. Exercise to me is like fucking kryptonite, but if I don't see blood on your lip tonight, Negro, you're gonna end up a kryptonite. You choke. Your whole neighborhood's gonna watch your bitch ass choke. If I can find my dick, that's thick. That's shit in your throat. And now my girl is messaging me. Can you bring back my CP? Like, roll up on this fool's kryptonite. This bitch wants to start wrestling me. We're about to make a big mess in the streets. It means nothing to me. Just another underwear street. Fuck! Just like that. The gun becomes the violent one. 500 pounds, 5'1", nigga, your ass is gonna be the Bible, son. When the gun becomes the violent one, all these bitches like Riley run. So watch out, cause you might be 1 second away from being finally done. First day, I was so hurt day. Pushed my face down in the dirt day. Said I'd be getting raped by Thursday. I said, wait, is there no other way? I can't survive among niggers so asinine that they dip my shit in gasoline and set my fat ass alight for my birthday. Fire up the wordplay, but I can't disguise acts of crime. They know that I'm not here because I drink beers, box with the cops, and pass the line. Are you paying attention? I really have no recollection of any type of anime porn collection. That's not mine. These guys harass the whites and pack a southern fried parasite with so much dick I go to the toilet. And I'm pro-lives and paralyzed from the waist down. I guess no different than any other gay now. Established that I'm a faggot, but how the fuck are all these guys gay now?
There's so much law packed in the song. I can barely believe it.
Myself on a 6-hour stream. You sure you want to do this shit to me? No. Just like that. The gun becomes the violent one. 500 pounds, 5'1", nigga, your ass is gonna be the Bible, son. When the gun becomes the violent one, all these bitches like Riley run. So watch out, cause you might be 1 second away from being finally done. Just like that. The gun becomes the violent one. 500 pounds, 5'1", nigga, your ass is gonna be the Bible, son. When the gun becomes the violent one, all these bitches like Riley run. So watch out, cause you might be 1 second away from being finally done.
Merry Christmas, buddy. Fuck you, bitch, motherfucker, and I will see you in court, bitch. I'm not playing. I'm not fucking around, dude. I'm not fucking around at all, bitch.